how much vitamin D should I take? Because we know that vitamin D is essential for immunity.
Yes,
that
indeed.
debate is finished.
Yeah.
We know it's essential for numerous other aspects of health.
Yeah.
Reducing chances of cancer, heart disease, probably type 1 diabetes, whole range of things that we've covered. But how much should I take?
It's a bit like diabetes, actually. Someone has diabetes, they say, well, how much insulin should I take? And the answer is, you take enough for you as a person. The question is, what are we trying to do? Well, firstly, we're trying to prevent things like rickets. That requires a tiny, tiny amount of vitamin D. But the other thing is immunity, which requires a lot more vitamin D, quite honestly. Probably 1,000 times more. So, it's sometimes recommended we should take 400 units of vitamin D. Well, 400, it might prevent a child from developing rickets, but it's not going to do anything for immunity. For that would require at least 10 times as much. Well, we're trying to achieve a good blood level of vitamin D. And the blood level we require is between 100 and 150, actually about 150 nanomoles per litre. That's the objective. And if we look at the experience from COVID-19, we find out that people who've got over 100 nanograms per mil blood level, they don't come to any harm from COVID. When people take vitamin D, ideally they should have the blood level checked. It's like with diabetes, you get your blood tests. It's like with hypertension, you get your blood pressure measured. You're trying to achieve a target, and that's what we're trying to do. The amount of vitamin D an individual requires to achieve a target level of over 100 nanomoles per litre, that varies from person to person, quite honestly. But a good starting point is to say, well, what is a unit of vitamin D? Now, a unit of vitamin D is like a unit of insulin. They were both discovered at about the same time, 100 years ago. It was not possible to weigh them, to develop a mass measurement. It was only possible to have a biological measurement. And the biological measurement of vitamin D is that 1 unit is the daily requirement of a 10-gram mouse. So, when you say how much do we need, let's start off with the 10-gram mouse, 1 unit. Now, 1 unit of per 10 grams means that for a human with a body weight of 60 kilograms would require 6,000 units. We'll say, okay, if 6,000 units sounds about right for 60 kilograms, let's make a start on 3,000 units.
Which is very conservative.
It is conservative. The Standing Advisory Committee on Nutrition, SACN, was advising 400 units, but does admit that 4,000 units is perhaps the maximum that should be taken. What evidence for that? I don't know. Let's say we start on 3,000 units a day and then get your blood tested after 6 months, say. See what it is. And if it's not up to 100, you increase the dose. Like you do with insulin in diabetes, like you do with your treatment of hypertension. You judge the dose by the response it's had.